You have maybe felt like something is off, something is not right for a really long time, but have been struggling to put your finger on it. However, I'm seeing you leaping into this energy where you decide to do something about it. Maybe you don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but you're just going to make a change because you are so done with that Four of Cups, feeling at a loss, feeling apathetic, feeling as though you don't have the power to change the world around you. With the Seven of Coins, I think, with a sense of sort of gentle nurturing, with a sense of paying slow and consistent attention to the right things in your life, you can create massive change. But it does mean that you're going to have to be willing to forego some of your creature comforts to some degree. There is this really rebellious energy that is surrounding this entire reading. The cards I pulled were a total afterthought because this entire message came to me without the cards. There's a really rebellious energy surrounding you, surrounding everybody else who's watching, even people who are not watching at the moment. I feel like this is a massive collective shift to coming home. But instead of like interpreting that as just going straight back home, spending time with your family, with your parents, with your grandparents, going back to a hometown and not really doing anything with that, it feels as though you're coming home to take all the best parts, build something new for yourself with it. But it's not just for yourself, it's also for the community, because I also got that many of you will have grown up in places that have now been gentrified or are being gentrified in some way. So really important community hubs, which you and your family would have gone to all the time when you were really young, have now turned into posh boy, condom beanie, wanky nose ring coffee shops. And to you, that's not okay, because there's so much history where you came from, there's so much culture in the town that you came from that's being kind of washed away, is being like cleaned up when it never really was dirty in the first place. And I feel like you have so much importance to your local community in that way. There's almost like a sense of uprising sort of within you and many others around you, where you're just thinking, no, this isn't right. We can do something different here, but it's going to require us going out of our way, maybe taking a bit of a hit in some area of our life to make things right, to make things that they've ever been before. So it might be that your favorite local grocery store that was run by a family or just like this dude and his wife when you were young has to close down because of financial reasons. They cannot afford to keep that grocery shop going, but there is a way that you can honor it. There is a way that you can honor it in your town that has people sort of remembering what that grocery store gave the local community. There is maybe a new independent grocery store that you can start to set up. You can go into business with somebody and you can go, if you can't run this store anymore, then maybe I can put together a team that can help to carry on this legacy for you in some way. Some of you that will resonate for more than others. I feel like there is still this general collective energy of taking the best parts of your childhood, making them building blocks to create something that resonates with you personally a little bit more in your life. For others of you, it will be more like community-based thing. I had the songs Homecoming by Green Day in my head. The part that stuck out to me, I think the most, that's a very fucking long song, but it's a good song, you should listen to it. I think that you'd enjoy it, especially given your headspace at the moment, is this big chant where it's like, home, we're coming home again, home, we're coming home again. And it sounds like 50 million people singing along with them. And I just pictured in my mind this huge team of people coming together to take something back to its roots. Yes, that was the initial message that I got. Going back to your roots here. You're going back to your root. There was something that you didn't know how to appreciate when you were younger, or you couldn't make the best of when you were younger, that you are now in your adult life able to make the best of, that you are now able to sort of appreciate. Whether that's when you were young, the kids at school making fun of you for your hair, for example, because, I don't know, maybe your hair wasn't like sleek and straight and beautiful. I can relate. I have curly hair, white girl curly hair, but I still managed to get bullied for my hair. But now there is this energy of wanting to kind of make the most of the fact that like your hair is maybe a different type than what the kids at school all had. Maybe you dressed differently when you were younger than all the other kids in your school did, and like because of that you sort of had ended up conforming with everybody else over the years. You've been working to get these parts of yourself back, and now in your adult life you feel empowered to go back to those roots, to go, hey, I remember how weirdly I used to dress when I was a kid. Let me get back into doing that again. I feel like I have the power now to be able to step out into the world. You're not in primary school anymore. You know, realistically in my brain, that if anybody says anything to me based off my outfit, then they're just miserable in their own lives. Do you know what I mean? It also can go deeper than that. It can go to the hobbies that you used to enjoy when you were very young that you couldn't continue for some reason, making a return to those hobbies. Things that used to interest you, your interests, even if they feel childish to you, because there was the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck here. Even if some of these things that you're going back to feel childish to you, you can use them now as an adult. You can use them. So maybe, using myself as an example again, I used to be obsessed with like fairies and pixies in the garden. I used to write them all letters, and I used to go to the woods and leave all these pixies like little notes in the woods, which probably got picked up and put in the trash, come to think of it. But I probably wouldn't do the same thing now, but I still have a love for pretty things, cute garden fairy looking things. I still have this love for anything that's sort of mystic and playful in that way. And there's a playfulness that you can kind of bring into your current life as well. It feels as though the dissatisfaction that you've been feeling with this Four of Cups, it extends to multiple different areas of your life. It's the place that you live, it's the community that you live in, it is the way that you're presenting yourself, it's the lack of magic in your life, it's the boredom, it's your job. But in this general energy, and I feel like also the astrological thing of like, there's a lot of nostalgia coming up for us right now. I don't know what planets, I don't do astrology, I'm just regurgitating what I've heard from the astrology girlies out there. There's a lot of nostalgia out there at the moment, and I feel like you're finding really useful ways to use it to make your life fit better for you. And it's empowering. You're reclaiming things. You're reclaiming the things that you got bullied for when you were younger and using them to create a really wonderful life for yourself, because that always was who you were, and it is now. You always were maybe the quirky kid in school who didn't get to fully express themselves, but now, guess what? You can. You can build a really amazing life off the back of that. You may have had a really strong community around certain places, certain locations, certain grocery stores when you were young, and now it feels like there's an element of you being able to kind of bring that back and work that into the community. So it's really interesting that this reading isn't necessarily like individualized. It's not necessarily just contained to you and how to change yourself and your own life. It's expansive in the sense that there's a whole mass of people feeling this way right now, wanting to make a difference to their communities as well, letting this energy extend forth into the community to improve it. There's this feeling of like, I'm going to get it right this time, and it kind of feels uplifting, it feels euphoric. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes, they're all the way over there. Also the song If I Were You by Nothing But Thieves, and that's the whole root of all of this reading, is because I woke up with the Cheers theme song in my head this morning. So maybe you've been watching Cheers recently, I don't know, but there's that element of community obviously in Cheers. So I just thought that this was a really super interesting reading, like taking things from when you were a child, or like, you know, from your hometown, and homecoming in the sense that you take everything that's good from that, use them as building blocks to create or improve your own life now. I just thought that was an interesting message. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that there. Bye.